and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton, and today we're going to talk about a program for homeowners in certain areas that you probably don't even know exists. It's called Caught with Curb Appeal, and my guest is Jasmine Bryson. Welcome.
Hi, Robin. Thank you so much for having me on.
This is fun to talk about because I think people don't know about it, don't know that the opportunity is out there, and maybe don't understand why the city is helping individual homeowners spruce up their exteriors. Why is that worth tax money, Jasmine?
Oh, it's so worth tax money. It helps not only the city to look better, but it helps homeowners that want to improve their home that just don't have the money to do it. And it really does help promote other neighbors that aren't doing the program. So they see their neighbor that just got finished doing all this great landscaping, re-roof, new windows, and they're like, how in the world did they do that? And then they talk to their neighbor, and that word of mouth spreads, and it's just contagious.
It's really, I live next to one of the neighborhoods, the Sussex neighborhood, and I've watched that neighborhood come back. It was a neighborhood that was bordering on decline and having some problems, and when people begin to take that interest in those first steps, a lot of times they go way farther than the city, expected them to, or than was part of the program. Then their neighbor sees it, and so the reason it's confined to neighborhoods is so it can make a difference.
Right.
And
exactly.
We'll travel around to other neighborhoods eventually.
Yes.
But okay, so tell us how it works. If I'm in one of these neighborhoods, first of all, what are the neighborhoods right now?
The neighborhoods are Pasture Point, Sussex, Old Hampton, and Buckrow, and we are trying to expand to Phoebus.
That would be great.
Yes. So
our older neighborhoods, which is, times where, and I live in an older house, it needs stuff.
Exactly.
And stuff's expensive, and it's overwhelming to the homeowner, too.
Exactly. And that's the main reason why these homes are part of, these areas actually are part of our housing venture areas, which are part of our neighborhood initiative that is to promote our neighborhoods and make them better, a livable place in Hampton. So we also tagged on Buckrow recently. It's one of our new areas, and it is a master plan area, but there was such a need for it, and we had so many people reaching out about Buckrow, and there's a lot of older homes there that we decided to go ahead and reach out to them, and we got the same feedback from Phoebus.
And, it's one of those things you can do that affects not just your own home, but your neighbors and everybody's home values, and it's an investment.
It definitely is.
But not everybody can afford to do it by themselves.
Right, that's true. So there are individuals that start off with doing a small project just to kind of test it out, and then they continue to do projects each year. So say they'll start off with landscape one year, and then they might do roofing the next year, or they might start off with a huge project which is a part of the program. Let me back up. We actually have advisors, which one of them is Donald Whipple. I don't know if you guys know of him, but he's awesome. He's one of our chief city planners, and he is great when it comes to landscaping and other architectural information. So we'll sit down with the homeowner and go over what they'd like to do and help them plan out because sometimes they have such big wishes that it narrows it down and it kind of puts it in reality, so then they can say, oh, well, this can kind of be like in phases if I wanted to. So they really like that part of it, and the process is really easy. So we send out mailers to each one of the homes in the areas, to the homeowners, and they have the application process, which goes over the policy. They fill out just the demographic information, name, of course, their address, and they also have to list what their project is, what they want to do, and they have to include a cost, and they have to have some type of proof behind the cost, of course, like not receipts, but like invoices, or, when you go to a contractor and you just say, this is what I like to do, can you give me a quote?
Right.
And I always let them know that quotes can change because the cost of living can change in a month in certain areas. So I tell them that just think about it. If you got to go a little bit higher, then that's fine, as long as when you're finished with the project that your receipts are, say it's a little bit less, we'll still meet you halfway. We're not going to completely say, oh, no, you can't do the project. And then once they fill out their application, send it back in, we do have a committee that looks over their information. because unfortunately we can't fund every single project, which we're normally used to around 20 to 30. Then it gradually moved up to 50. And then this year has been our highest ever. We had over 86 applications, and we funded over 75 of them.
That's amazing.
Yes, it was so great. I think that word of mouth really got kick-started. And then once the committee looks over everything and they approve them, they usually approve the amounts and say, for example, if there's something that they have a recommendation for, want them to consider, they'll make comments or what have you and let them know, well, we'll approve this, but the stuff in the interior of the house or the stuff in the back of the house we can't fund.
This is really for, what are they, well, curb appeal,
Exactly.
really, it's the name of it. But
Exactly.
it is to improve the exterior because that's what affects your neighbors. That's the neighborhood right there is what you can see from the outside.
Exactly. Definitely it's exactly what you say, curb appeal. It's for the exterior of the home. So when I'm driving by your house and I'm looking and I'm like, oh my gosh, that house looks great. That's what we're going for.
You know, so the other thing is that you guys do have, I mean, your packets of information show a lot of before and afters and give people ideas. So I might be a homeowner going, I know my home needs something, but I don't know what.
Right.
And you guys really have, you're an idea book. I mean, it's like HGTV, you know, kind of flipping through some of those pages because there's things that wouldn't have occurred to me or that I wouldn't think would make as big a difference as they do make.
Exactly. So we do have guidelines. We have the curb appeal guide that is just for just generally, and then we have ones for each area to kind of help.
Sussex is such a different neighborhood. I mean, they were originally built as duplexes. Many of them are one-family homes now, and you have to make a lot of changes to make them work, but there's some of them that just look great.
Right.
Really nice.
Right. And each area has their own style, which that's why we've made individual guides for those types of homes. And some of them are historical, so we kind of want to keep that
Pasture
going.
Point has a lot of older
definitely.
historic, kind of Victorian-style homes.
Exactly. So we want to keep, you know, that in the minds of people that are applying for this grant to just kind of give them an idea, but let them know that you can do your own thing. You don't necessarily have to do it this way, but here's some ideas, and that really gets people going, and it's just like, oh, I didn't know I could do this, and I didn't know I could do that, and some people are just so happy to realize that they can actually do their roof, which is not only if you think about it, when you're driving past a house and you see a bunch of shingles and all sorts of stuff pulled off the top of it, it really does help when you see like a brand new roof, and sometimes they change the colors to kind of complement the house, and it's just amazing how, you know, that one thing could really help improve the visual.
Yeah,
of
see,
the
I
home.
didn't realize roofs were included because that's a structural improvement as well.
Exactly.
You know, you keep your house from leaking, you made a big investment.
Right.
It's important and it has to be done regularly. So you'll do roofs, exterior painting, trim, porches. You've done, especially I think I've noticed Sussex more because I drive past it, but helped create, you know, driveways or different spaces for those folks.
Yeah.
Fences,
landscaping. I mean, it's
doors. I mean,
doors.
It's amazing
Yes,
what
ma'am.
a new door can do for
know,
a place.
I
Windows,
know.
are windows included?
Windows are included. We don't because windows are kind of, they go all the way around the house. So we let them know you can do all the windows, but just know
just
that
the
the
front
committee
ones.
may just fund the front of the windows. And it also depends on what kind of windows. If the windows that you're thinking about getting really just help with the structural part and doesn't really improve the look of the house, they may not fund it. But I tell them to apply for everything that you think that you want to improve on your home, and then the more that you go for, if the committee says, oh, we can't do this right now, or we recommend you do it this way, then at least you tried and you put it out there, and the worst thing that can happen is you only get some of the things on your list versus none of them.
Right. Now, if I'm a DIYer or someone who doesn't have a lot of cash, I can stretch these dollars by getting you guys to help with the landscape plan and helping to pay for the plans and put them in myself rather than hire somebody.
Exactly.
Or doing my own painting. That's about as far as I go. But there are people who are handier than me who could even do more stuff.
Right. So that's a good point, Robin, because they don't have to get a contractor. You don't have to have a professional do it. You can have a friend that specializes in this or retired from doing it. You can do it yourself. I have a lot of people that have done the work themselves, and it comes out wonderful. Unfortunately, they just either didn't have the money for the materials, so now they can go ahead and do that and know that later that they'll get reimbursed for it.
So let's talk about how this process works and what the timetable is.
Okay.
So you're going to mail it out, and it is restricted to certain neighborhoods, and we hope to grow and spread it throughout some of the other older neighborhoods eventually, but we're trying to make a real difference in a neighborhood before we move on.
Exactly.
So if you qualify, you'll get a mailer, but people could also call 311 or the neighborhood office and ask.
Yes, they sure can.
And those mailers go out when?
Well, because like I said, we're trying to launch in
You have a rolling.
Phoebus.
Okay.
Right, so we're going to go a little bit earlier. We're probably going to start in January in regards to Phoebus. But normally we start in February. Towards the middle to end of February, we start sending out mailers, giving people enough time. I like to give people 30 to 60 days because sometimes it's hard to get contractors in line. It's hard to get everything arranged, and sometimes it takes time to think about it. I have people that I've been talking to that wanted to start projects for this year. I talked to them last year about it. So
it is. It's, you know, as a homeowner, you do have a sort of a long-term plan, and you also sort of need to do some research first and figure out what things cost and what things make a difference, and, you know, is there an order you should do things in? Because I'll say, you know, if you're going to do a new roof or paint, you want to do that before you landscape. Because otherwise you're trashing that landscape with all those shingles coming down.
Exactly. And anyone, they can call me. I tell them all the time, and people are sometimes, they ask for forgiveness for calling so much. That's what I'm there for. Give me a call, ask any questions you like. I mean, from either far-fetched or something simple that you may not understand regarding reading the policy, or you just have a question about whatever. If I can't help you, at least I could find someone that's more of a subject matter expert in that.
And the other thing you can do is talk to your neighbors. So if you see a house you like go knock on the door and say, hey, I live across the street. I was interested in what you did, how you did it, who helped you with it.
Exactly.
You know, make those neighborhood connections.
Right.
Because that's
Promote
part of what you're doing too.
Exactly.
Okay, so I interrupted you though. So the applications are, they go out or in February-ish. They're due back.
Well, they go out in February. I like to make sure that they have enough time. So I'll say at the end of April, probably April 30th, we'll go ahead and have the deadline for applications. And then from that point, we have the committee meet. And usually I try and get everyone together and get the committee going within a week or two of the applications coming back in. I like to get it.
That's quick for government.
I know. It is,
that is moving.
Yes, it is a task, but luckily these people within our department are wonderful. And we collaborate with Hampton Redevelopment and Housing Authority, also with our new construction, our property maintenance department. I mean, we collaborate with all these people, and I'm really good friends with them. And they know the roundabout time, because I'll send out something and say, hey, it's that curb appeal time, get ready. So getting them together is a task, but I try and get it done within 1 to 2 weeks. We meet and go over all these applications. And I mean, it was a lot of applications for what we're used to. So we got it done in less than 3 hours, which was awesome.
Wow.
And I sent something out within the next 2 weeks after that. So I would say that process, it takes me about 3 to 4 weeks. But then once we send that out, we'll try and get it done in May, probably mid-May. And then they have until November.
That's
whatever day that is.
Because that's the seasonal time when you want to be working outside and when you can work outside a lot. Okay, so the homeowner does the project and then gets reimbursed.
Exactly.
Right. How long does that take? So if I'm, maxing out my credit card to finish this, you're going to pay me, the city's going to pay me back their share.
Right. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get the check processed. And I say it all over the application, and I let the people know up front, just 2 to 3 weeks. And sometimes it's not bad.
That's real fast. Again, that's really quick for government.
I know.
You think government bureaucracy, the wheels turn slowly, but you guys don't.
Right. And we really have to thank Hampton Redevelopment and Housing Authority for helping us out with that, because they house a part of that. So once we send the reimbursement package, is what I call it, with all the receipts and everything to HRHA, an inspector goes out, takes a look at the home. They're not checking for, the viability, but they're checking to make sure that it was done. And once they give me the go-ahead, I send that off to them, and then within 2 to 3 weeks, the person can go by and pick up their check. So try and make the process faster. Try to.
So is there a maximum amount people can get in a year, or a typical amount?
Well, actually, the max is $5,000. So say if they have a project that's over
And it's a 50-50 match. So the project is $10,000. They can get $5 from the city. They put in $5.
Exactly. So that's our max, and our minimum is $200.
Paint.
Yep.
Right there.
I mean,
pay half the cost of the paint
exactly.
and the materials, and that's still a huge help. It's a good place to start.
Oh my gosh, you would be surprised on what a little paint would do for a house. It's amazing transformation, just that simple.
It is. Okay. Thank you so much for coming by.
Having me.
And thank you for watching. I hope you will think about this if you live in one of these neighborhoods, or call and suggest we move the program into your neighborhood if we get that possibility in the future. Thanks for watching.